And hello, everyone. Welcome to another live scanning session. Once again, today we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week and the week ahead. It is August 9th, 2025. The summer is in full swing, and I'm greeting you today from my beautiful hometown here in Rostock in Germany. So I went to Germany last week, a couple of days ago from Montreal. So I'm going to spend a couple of, almost 2 weeks here with the folks, with the family. So I'm going to enjoy some time. You probably can see it on my face. I was, out in the sun today. It's been actually good weather. It's been phenomenally nice today. The sun was shining, the skies were blue, and I was playing soccer outside. And I probably should have taken a bit more sun cream. Anyways, let me ask you guys a question. Where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. So who do we have? We have Lenny from New York City. Hey, Lenny, how's it going? He said it's a beautiful day there as well. Perfect. Somebody from Hamburg. Yeah, not too far away from Rostock. That's awesome. Frank from Den Haag. Hey, Frank, how's it going? We also have, unfortunately, uncomfortably hot Cyprus is reported by Aubrey. Hey, Aubrey, how is it going? Niels from Basel. Hey, Niels, how's it going down in Switzerland? And Lenny says, "Are you a technical soccer player?" Yes, of course. Very technical. That used to be my forte. So even at my advanced age now of, I'm not going to say my age, but I used to be very technical. That's why I still can keep up with the youngsters. Art from Frederick, Maryland. Hey, Art, how's it going? Neil says it's also hot in Basel. All right. John from Venice, Florida. Hey, John, how's it going? Nice to see you. Paula from New Jersey. Hey, Paula, how's it going? Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your location. And also, we have Jared in the room from Santa Fe, from New Mexico. Perfect. All right, guys. So let's get started. First off, today, what we'll do, just like every single weekend, we will be looking for swing trades. So the approximate duration for those swing trades is between 2 and 20 weeks. So it's not really a day trade, but it's definitely no day trade whatsoever. We have different workshops for those. In fact, our last day trading workshop took place last Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. It's on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. So that was for day trading. Today, it's going to be about swing trading. So the approximate duration is 2 to 20 weeks. And the idea is that you can find those trade ideas very quickly. So we imagine that you take 13 minutes out of your day. Sometimes on the weekend you may do it. Sometimes, during the week, 13 minutes will be enough to find what you are looking for using our incredible Liquidity View dashboard. So we call this the 13-minute Sunday strategy. If you tend to do it on the weekend, which is always a great time to prepare for the week ahead, or you can do it also during the week because the dashboard will refresh every single day after market close, and new setups will come into play every single day. All right. So this was our quote from last week. Well, it was not a crisis whatsoever. What we saw last week was merely, and it's confirmed now, just a minor correction. However, it gave us a bunch of really, really good opportunities. Maybe you have taken some of those because for the most part, what we discussed last week worked out to perfection. So I was very happy with the outcome when I checked the results, and of course also took some trades in my own portfolio. So most of those worked out very nicely. So maybe you can share with us if you have taken any of those trades. So just real quick about us, I'm going to keep this very short. My name is Daniel. As mentioned before, I'm with tradingindicators.com, and we really specialize on the development of, as our name suggests, trading indicators. But we also develop fully automated strategies, but also trading scanners. And one such trading scanner we will be using today, the scanner is called Liquidity View. It's our dashboard, which will allow you to find interesting swing trading setups in just a few minutes. Also, guys, if you have any questions, please make this webinar your own. Put your questions into the Q&A box, and I'll be happy to get to them as we proceed through this presentation. Also, a quick reminder that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and setups and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, a couple of housekeeping items. I'm going to keep this really short. First off, if you want to know all the various features, all the many features of our Liquidity View dashboard, check out our bootcamp at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. Niklas will put this link into the chat box. Also, if you're not part of our Discord community yet, please consider joining. It's completely free at tradingindicators.com/discord. This link is also in the chat. Moving on. What we're going to be doing today is we will interactively scan for interesting setups using, as mentioned before, our Liquidity View dashboard. It would be best and easiest and the best experience in my view if you would follow along interactively as well. For this, of course, you will need access to our dashboard. If you don't have access yet to the dashboard, you can get it right now, completely free. We offer a 1-week free trial at tradingindicators.com/view. This link is also in the chat. And the nice thing about this is that you will get access right away. So as soon as you sign up, you will get instant access and you can then start using the dashboard. This will not take more than 1 or 2 minutes to get into the dashboard. And lastly, if you don't have our beautiful ebook yet, The Power of Three, where we detail the most interesting setups, the main setups that we are discussing in these sessions, which are our bounce setup, our zone break setup, and our zone break retrace setup, you can now download this ebook from this link here, tradingindicators.com/power of three. Lastly, if you have any suggestions about new features about the dashboard, please don't hold back. Bring these suggestions, these comments, this feedback to our attention. This is what drives the further development of the dashboard. So if you want to have your voice heard, please don't be shy. Speak up. Yeah, put these suggestions and comments into the Q&A box or send us an email, and we will consider this for the future development. And in fact, one new feature which will be released on probably on Monday, maybe on Tuesday, we're just putting the final touches on it, will be the following. And somebody brought this to my attention a couple of months ago, where as user suggested, okay, it's really nice that you have, for example, the earnings date now in the column here. That's really good, or when the diff-X date is. But it would be also really nice to see this visually on the chart. Guess what? We will be releasing a brand new indicator for the chart, which will display exactly these dates, similar to what TradingView does in the actual TradingView platform, directly on your price chart. It's going to look like this. You can see it here. Or this symbol here, it's future fuel. You can see, for example, that earnings will be coming out on August 11th. I believe that's probably Monday or Tuesday. And dividends will be coming out. The D here will be coming out on September 4th. So now you have a visual representation directly on your price chart. I think it's going to help a lot because sometimes I myself, I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I don't always check this column here. Now you see it right away. So if we are considering trading a symbol, we will know right away when earnings are coming up and when dividends are coming up. So this is something to look forward to, and this will be made available to all our members or subscribers of the dashboard, probably on, I'd say on Monday. Most likely this new indicator will be there. We're going to discuss it in our Lunch and Learn session on Tuesday a bit more. All right, now moving on, let's start with the market review. So what has happened last week? Well, in our newsletter, which came out on Monday, we asked the question, hey, what was this bigger correction that we've seen? Actually, let me get rid of this trend channel real quick. We don't need to see it right now. There we go. We asked the question, the correction that we saw last Friday, not yesterday, but last Friday, this deeper dip down here. What was this? And there were two possibilities. Possibility number one was, all right, it's just a minor dip within a very steady uptrend. That was possibility number one. And possibility number two was, well, it might be the precursor of a deeper reversion to the mean at the minimum towards this first support level, or even further below, perhaps to this second MA rush line here, or perhaps to this former support line down here at 574. I believe this week has answered this question. So what we saw here was an almost immediate recovery from this drop here. Monday was a very bullish day, then a bit of a bearish day on Tuesday, then Wednesday we went higher again. Thursday down, on Friday we closed up higher again. So I believe it looks like this was just a minor correction. Now we're once again on the move towards all-time highs, new all-time highs in the SPY. So things are very expanded. In fact, I sold puts on that Friday. I closed them down, I believe, on Tuesday already. So that's I'm flat there now. And I'm gonna wait perhaps for another drop in the SPY before I engage into a new long trade, because I do think we are a bit extended. And if we extend, there's always a chance that prices may come down to one of these averages. What about the QQQ, the Nasdaq 100 ETF? So let me pull this one up. Here we go. It's pretty much the same story. Of course, the QQQ and the SPY are very much correlated. In fact, some of you may already own our new correlation indicator called TI pairs. So if you put QQQ and the SPY into this correlation indicator on the daily time frame or the weekly time frame, you will see that they are very much directly correlated. Meaning, if one goes up, the other symbol will go up. If one goes down, the other symbol will go down. So it is therefore not very surprising that we have the exact same pattern here. A bit of a correction on Friday last week, so like 8 days ago, and then an immediate recovery. And in fact, we actually made all-time highs in the QQQs on Friday on that last move upwards. So same picture here on the QQQs. What about gold? All right, so gold, it was rinse and repeat for us. So every time uh, gold has been coming down to this first line here of MA Rush. So this first green line here, this was a great opportunity to buy into the long direction of GLD. So it happened here, it happened here, it happened here, and once again it happened here. This dip was just a little bit deeper. Price came down a little bit more, but then also an immediate recovery at the end of last week, and then we closed very near this resistance level. And now in gold, we have to see whether we're going to bounce off this resistance level. So we have bounced here and there previously with a liquidity capture event, this little shady area here. This may happen again. So I think if prices come higher up towards this level, if we see also liquidity capture, this could be a precursor for another correction down at least towards this first MA rush line. If this happens, well, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to considering once again longs in GLD, but we need to come down for this a little bit further first. All right, moving on. What about oil? The United States Oil Fund. Well, it's an interesting symbol, isn't it? Especially when you look at this ETF here, because prices have been so predictable and so sideways for such a long time. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here. You can see it. Look at this sideways pattern. In fact, I'm going to draw real quick my lines here. So in fact, the other one down here as well, just so you can see a bit more of context. If you haven't seen this one yet, look where prices have been ranging from in the last couple of years. In between this upper level here at 83 or around 83 and down here around 64, 63. Every time it approached an extreme, prices almost immediately bounced. Down here, bounced to the middle. Up here, bounced to the middle. Up here again, bounced to the middle, and so forth, and so forth. And I was thinking, maybe, of course, it didn't pan out completely. Maybe if we see price levels come up one more time towards the 83 level here, we came up to like 81, so 2 points are missing, then this could be a great short opportunity. So I didn't short all when I was at 81. I was waiting for it to come higher up. Now it looks like this may not happen for a while. Prices completely retraced, and now it's really anybody's guess. Yeah. So if you follow this alternation pattern, one may think perhaps prices will come down to this level, the 64 area. It's a possibility, or perhaps another attempt up here. So I will let markets decide what it wants to do. I will only act on the symbol if we approach one more time either of the extreme, either up here at 83 or down here at 64, 63. All right, what about Bitcoin? BTC. Let's have a look. So Bitcoin is interesting too. So we did lose this flagging formation here. So Bitcoin, wasn't this bull flag. This was the flag post here, and then we had the flag here. We dropped below last week, but now we recovered, and as the option professor would say, we're back in the soup, right in the middle of this flagging formation. And it looks to me that we are a bit of sideways consolidating right now in Bitcoin after this sharp move upwards from the lows here at 70,000 or 72,000. Yeah, big move up. This may be a longer sideways consolidation as it seems to me, and it may take a couple of weeks or maybe months until we break the all-time highs here at 122,000 in Bitcoin. So here I would also stay on the sidelines. To me, this looks a bit rangy for the time being. All right. So these are the major indices and the major symbols for the global markets. But of course, now let's have a quick look. How did our picks pan out from last week? It's good to always have a bit of a recap. So let me go back to our watch list, which we had created last week. And you can see it here. And in fact, this watch list should also be visible in your account because I shared this watch list with you guys. It's a shared watch list. It's this one here from August 2nd, last week, Saturday. So I'm going to open it up, and we had quite a few picks in there, and look how they panned out for the most part. So what do we have here? We have Aflac Incorporated. Yeah, this was a beautiful bounce trade that we had in mind, and look what happened here. Prices bounced up beautifully from this key support level towards the middle, in between support and resistance. So this, if you took the trade, congratulations, that was a great, that would have been a great trade. Maybe put a little comment into the Q&A box if you actually took the trade. So beautiful bounce here, just as predicted from this key support level towards the middle, in between support and resistance. So that worked out nicely. W.W. Granger. All right. This was our trade of the week on Monday, which we announced in our newsletter, I believe. Was it there, or was it on Tuesday during lunch online? I forget. Uh, Also nice trade here. Here we had earnings, I believe. Prices came down. They gapped down a lot, all the way down to this key support level or nearby at least. And prices now bounced off a little bit from this level as well. And maybe we're going to see a gap fill here. So I wouldn't hold my breath. It may take a little while until prices come all the way up here, but at least we did see some initial bounce here in this symbol as well from the support level down here. We also had a liquidity capture event right here. All right. JP Morgan. Actually, JP Morgan, I'm going to skip for now because we're going to definitely discuss it later on today. So let's move on from this. Farmers markets, Sprouts Farmers markets. That one is a bit of a headache for me. Why? Well, first of all, it's in my portfolio, which of course makes it a concern for me. Why is it? Because we lost this support level. Not by much, but prices are definitely trading lower than the support level here on 153. So we're close at 148. That's quite a drop, especially seeing that last Friday was quite a bullish day in the markets overall, but Sprouts ended up weak. So they're not awfully strongly correlated with the SPY, but nonetheless, this is not the best sign. So the markets went up, this symbol went down. This I'm still in this trade. I didn't close it out, but I'm just discussing the possibility. This may mean that we are in for a deeper correction in Sprouts Farmers Markets, perhaps down towards this level here at 130. Or maybe this first or this third MA rush line at 138. It's a possibility. I sold some puts around this level, around 160. Of course, they're a bit negative right now. And unless we completely are going downhill here, I will most likely stick it out, meaning I might get assigned. So if the price trades below my strike price after expiration, which is, I believe, the end of August, so we have a few more weeks left, then I will get assigned. I need to have enough money in my account to buy the 100 shares of this symbol. But I believe, because this trend of Sprouts Farmers Market is so bullish, it's such a beautiful uptrend that I will stay with it. I believe this trend is going to continue. It's just a deeper correction than I expected. So I'm gonna, own the stock at this point. Then I'm gonna wait until prices recover and then look at perhaps selling some calls to go flat on this one as well. So that's my idea here for Sprouts, but we'll see. We'll discuss it more next week as more price action comes in. And then we also had Tanger, this one here. Beautiful move here as well. Also here, it was our idea to play the bounce. I personally was timid. I said I want prices to come down to this purple square here. They didn't get to this level, but look at this beautiful bounce that happened afterwards. So I missed out on this one because I was waiting too long. That's just my trading style, but it was a beautiful bounce off this level. Now prices are trading once again in between support down here and resistance up there. So that one worked out quite nicely as well. But having this said, this is from yesterday. This is from last week. Kind of old news, as you want to say. Today, of course, we want to find setups which are interesting right now. So that's going to be our next topic right now. But Niklas, do we have any questions? that came in so far,
Yeah, we
except
have
for some
one
symbol
question here,
requests.
Daniel,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Lenny. He says, okay, if last week was a minor correction in the SPY, then why is everything overextended? Does that mean there should be another correction?
Oh, there will definitely be another correction. But so corrections are never a question of if, just the question of when. It's just this question will come. Will it come next week? I have no idea. Maybe. My opinion is probably not because we're probably gonna see all-time highs in the SPY next week. It's my feel, but who knows? But nobody can tell when this correction will come. But what I can tell you is if this correction comes, I want to jump on it. So I patiently wait for these corrections to happen and then I execute a trade. I just don't want to enter up here when prices are so extended. That's what I
Thank
was
you.
saying.
And
Mhm.
Niels just made a comment. If seasonality would be interesting, could be interesting in the dashboard. Example, SPY
Yeah.
is extended in August, might be more likely to cause a second dip. And I think, Daniel, that's
Yeah.
already being worked on and coming out
Yes.
in the near future, right? Or the fairly near future.
Fairly near future. Yeah, that's definitely a feature we want to integrate into the dashboard. It's something that requires a bit more thought and it's a bit lengthier to implement. But yes, it's definitely coming. And Niels, you're absolutely right. The SPY, for example, is seasonally weak in September and October. How weak and perhaps other symbols might be stronger in this period. This is something we're going to see in the dashboard soon, where we're going to have these seasonality information. And guess what? These will vary from symbol to symbol. And some symbols they are seasonally strong during Christmas, for example, or perhaps they're especially strong in September and October, while the SPY is weak. So we're going to get all these insights. Yet another puzzle piece which will allow you to make better trading decisions.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Daniel. And the last one from Lenny on USO. Can you explain the level five trend radar drop? He says he guesses he doesn't understand the relationship. He would have thought that would happen when it's at the bottom of the channel.
Oh no, so the trend radar down here, that's so no, they don't overread it that way. So what I see right here in trend radar, even without looking at the chart, if I just look at this pattern here, is that prices are sideways. Why do I see this just by looking at this? Is because we go from all red to all green, back to all red, back to all green, back to all red, to all green, and so forth and so forth. Just alternating. That's a classic sign for a sideways pattern. Now contrast this with the SPY. Yeah, SPY. We don't have such a pattern of trend radar. Just look at trend radar down here. It's not the case. It's predominantly green. That's a clear uptrend. Of course, we had the tariffs here, but mainly it's all green with some dips in there. This is a pattern for a minor pullback within a strong uptrend. And if we have such a trending symbol like the SPY, this is what I'm looking for. This patch here, 4 levels down. The same logic doesn't apply for markets which are already sideways, like the US, like USO, the United States Oil Fund, because here, all I can take away from this one is that we're sideways, but I could have seen this also from the trend lines here, which are sideways. So what I explained about healthy pullbacks using trend radar mainly applies for a strong trending symbol. Like
Thanks.
Sprout Promise Market, just real quick, one other one. That's why I'm staying in there. We didn't break the 4 levels yet. If you go to Sprouts here, look at the trend radar. It's beautiful. Just all green, couple of patches. Yeah, these have happened in the past. Now, once again, so that's why I'm staying in it. Every single time we had a level 4 pullback and the strong trending symbol, we almost had an immediate uh, recovery from that. So I'm hoping for that recovery. That's why I'm staying in this trade for now.
Thanks,
Okay.
Daniel. And as you go on, yeah, Lenny just said the channel you have on SPY price is below the general trend, so maybe the SPY is weaker than we think. I'm guessing it's
Maybe.
below some part of the channel. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think it's extended, so it's not super weak. So prices are strong and far away from the averages. Okay, so moving on. So today we're gonna find once again some interesting symbols to be considered for the week and the weeks ahead. So let me quickly go back to my slides just for a second. And as you will know, our process has been, I'm just gonna explain this really quickly, is to focus on one setup at a time. Based on what we see, we're gonna create a watch list, and then we're gonna go through the symbols in that watch list quickly to yeah, analyze them a bit more in detail. So it's going to be our process. And the first setup we're going to be looking for is what we call a healthy pullback within a strong trend, ideally combined with the fact that prices are actually now trading at a key support level. So we want prices to go up for quite some time, pulling back, ideally pulled back to a key support level like this one here. How can we find those setups? Quite easily. We're going to go back to our dashboard right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the first criteria. So the first criteria is going to be we want to be in an uptrend. So for this, I'm going to use the MA rush column here, which is our trend column, and I will select bullish. And once done, you can see that of our 5,500 stocks, currently 2,658 are currently bullish. So pretty much 50% of our symbols are currently bullish. You can see all the arrows here. They are pointing upwards. That's criteria number one. Criteria number two is we want to see a correction down to a support level, like this one here. Price need to be near a support level. Well, we're going to use our liquidity IQ column here and the filter that comes with it. And we'll select long bounce. So long bounce means we are bouncing off support to the long side. So I clicked on it, and now we can see that of our 5,000 something symbols, only 144 symbols are currently in the setup. So it's quite selective. Not many stocks are currently, pulled back to a key support level. And then what else I'd like to do is I like to sort by trend duration. Do you see this little number next to MA rush here and the arrow that we see here, like 35 and 24 and 125? This is an indication of trend duration. And we can sort by this duration by clicking on this column here. And once I click on it, we're sorting from highest to lowest. And then what we can do is we can simply focus on the ones with the longest term trend. And the first one that comes up is this one here, EMR.AX. It's an Australian stock we recently added. I'm not going to add it to our watch list because that's a stock that is not in my wheelhouse. It's just too cheap. Just for my personal trading, the prices are too low at around $3, $3.50 right now. I also don't like the fact that we do have a second support level just below this. But if you want to take a shot, and this is just a cheap stock, just if you want to dip into it, maybe it's worth a trial. We already started a recovery off this support level here. We're now a little bit further away. This would have been a real nice entry last week. We bounced up, and now, the idea is that potentially we're going to trade a bit higher, but I'm going to skip this one. It's it's just some other demographics are not lining up here. Next one here, also this one I'm probably going to skip. It's a stock in the Indian market, also here on Sun Pharmaceutical Industries United. Complicated name, but also here actually we had this on our radar, I believe, last week. Prices came down to the support level, and here, once again, I don't want to trade. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's a bit too wild here too. We have a bit of a descending triangle. If we just connect these lines here just real quick. If you do this from a technical point of view, there we go. So this would be somewhat of a descending descending triangle, and that's a bearish pattern. So to me, I don't like the fact that we're making lower highs along the board here. Even though we're trading at support, I would not consider going long here, so I'm going to skip this one as well. Moving on. Next one, Northeast Community Bank Corp. Let's check this one out. All right. So here, once we zoom in here a bit more, we can see it's definitely a bullish stock. In fact, the stock has been bullish for a long time, for multiple years, and now we just pulled back towards this key support level. This one I like better. The reason is that it's, even though you could argue, okay, it's kind of a descending triangle too, but if you discount this peak up here, if you just connect this one, it's kind of parallel, sideways consolidating, with some fantasy. And we are trading right at this key support level. And the idea is that we will bounce off this level, and potentially price will move towards the middle in between this level here and at least this resistance level up here. So I like this one for a long setup. So I'm going to go here and I will add this to our watch list. So I'm going to go down, create a new watch list. Setups 2025 0809. I will create it, and I will then go ahead and share this watch list with you. And as per our agreement, what we said is that we will share the last 5 watch lists with you. So that means right now we're sharing 6, starting from July the 5th. I'm going to unshare this one here, so it will not clutter your space. So the last 5 ones will be shared with you. All right, so this has been created. Now let's add this symbol to the watch list. Right click, add, and we're going to add it to our last watch list right there. Perfect. Moving on. STLD, Steel Dynamics Inc. All right, let's check this one out. So here, what do we see? Well, we are definitely at key support. It's definitely a long-term bullish stock. So we're coming from an uptrend. It's a bit, wavy and very volatile. But what I don't like about this one, and we discussed this one already last week, is we are, from a bigger point of view, from a bigger picture viewpoint, we are really in a very broad sideways channel. Now, all the way here between 154 and down here at around 102 or 103. Prices are right now, even though at intermediate support, they are pretty much in the middle of this broad channel. There's still a lot of room to go lower or a lot of room to go higher also, but I would want to wait until prices come down to the extreme. And this is why I get interested in this one. To me, at this intermediate zone, not so much. So I'm also going to skip this particular one right now. All right. I like the setup in general, but I just want prices to come down to this key zone down here. Next one, Unum Group. All right, this one is of interest for us for the week ahead. What do we see here? Long uptrend. You can see it here. And we are definitely in a sideways consolidation. Yeah, this is not a descending triangle. It's really a sideways consolidation right at this key support level here. And this is also from last week. We have quite a sizable gap to fill here. So this is going to come to our watch list. Here we are expecting a bounce off this level towards the middle, once again, in between support and resistance up here. So I'm going to go here and I will add this one as well. The next one is a currency symbol. Let's have a quick look, even though we're not going to be trading this, but oh my goodness. That looks kind of a funny currency. We're definitely not going to be trading this. These bars look really funny. But we are at key support here. And maybe some currency traders will find this interesting because it's really rangy. Huh? Every time we're at the lower range, we saw a bounce many, many times. So maybe somebody, if you're in the currency space, you could take this away on your own or trade this on your own. Okay, moving on. AGO, Assured Guarantee Ltd. Oh, look at this one here. Big drop on Friday. And where did we stop? Right at this key support level. And we did have a liquidity capture right there. If you're wondering what is the liquidity capture, let me just enable the label for you. Oops. There we go. It's right here. It's this little shaded area right here. Now that's the label. That's a liquidity capture. It's a bar which comes down to a key support level. It is not able to break the level, it just comes near it. And this bar has abnormally high volume. And if this comes together, then we see this liquidity capture event. And oftentimes this is something that enforces the likelihood that we're actually going to see a bounce off this level. So we're going to add this one also to our watch list. All right. Perfect. And perhaps one or two more. Let's go to ARLP, Alliance Resource Partners LP. And also here, nice gap. I always get excited by these gaps here. Gap down to the support level. There's another support level below here, which is a bit concerning. But overall, it's a bullish stock. It is sideways consolidating right now, but at a key support level. And a liquidity capture on the last bar and a bit of a gap here. So this could also be potentially a long play here for this particular stock. So I'm going to add this one as well. All right, so we're going to stop here with this particular setup, but I hope you get the idea of how easy it is to find interesting setups using the dashboard. And this was our long bounce setup. Another setup which I like to trade oftentimes is a bit of a variation of it. Let me share it to you on the slides. So I'm going to go back to my slides here. And this setup is called the zone break retrace setup. It's a bit different because here we want prices, instead of being close to a key support level, we want prices to be close to a former resistance level. And the keyword here is former. Why do I say this? Because what we want before this happens, we want prices to break above resistance. We can see this one here, this green line. It was broken to the upside. Prices went up, but then they came down back to this level. And at this point, this former resistance level will act as support, and oftentimes it's a launch pad for prices moving higher from this point on. So how can we scan for these setups? Well, quite easy with the dashboard as well. So once again, I'm going to go back to our dashboard here. I clear out all our filters, and in our Liquidity IQ setup column here, I will select long break retrace. That's exactly the setup I just explained. So I click on it. It will filter everything down, and of our 5,517 symbols, only 11 symbols are on the setup right now. So it's super selective. And the first one that comes in is JP Morgan Chase. I know, Aubrey, it's one of your key stocks in your portfolio. Yeah, it's a fantastic stock. It's the Cadillac of banking stocks in the US, and it has a beautiful setup right now. Let's check it out. So prices here came above, at this point here, came above this green line. You see this green line here? This was resistance. Prices traded above this level, came up, then retraced down. This is actually where I sold some puts at this point in the beginning of July. I already closed it out a long time ago. So I sold some puts, some cash secured puts here. Prices came back up, made all-time highs, gapped down. This gap was almost filled, but not 100%. And now prices are trading nearish this broken resistance level. I still want prices to come down a bit further. Maybe here down to this, at least to the 282 level, something like this. And at this point, I would be looking into a long setup once again for JP Morgan Chase. How I would trade it, whether by selling puts or buying calls or buying the stock outright, that's we'll decide when we get there, but it's definitely a very interesting long setup if prices come down a little bit further. What will also happen then, look here, is that this key support, a former resistance level, now acting as support, will coincide with this upper MA rush line, which often acts as dynamic support. So multiple things are coming together here. I want prices to come down a bit further. If they do, it's going to be a very nice and interesting setup. So let's add this one also to our watch list. There we go. All right. Okay, what else do we have? We have Brookfield Corporation next in our list here. Also long break retrace setup. Okay, let's have a look. It's
Daniel.
yes.
Oh, just it's a
Yes.
good time for this. So Paula said, how often do you see liquidity capture levels broken instead of bouncing off? So on this chart, we actually see that happen. There was a liquidity capture and it broke through. So how often would you say you see that instead of a bounce?
Which chart is it? This chart here, you mean?
Well, the
This,
question was in general, how often do liquidity captures do you think
yeah.
lead to breaks instead of bounces? And
Yeah.
I just saw on this chart, that's what happened most
Yeah,
recently.
I don't have a statistic for this yet. And by the way, this is another future feature we are currently working on to get you these hard fit statistics and facts about a particular symbol, because I think it will also vary greatly from symbol to symbol. So we're gonna look at, getting you some information there. But in general, in this particular case, for example, we had a liquidity capture here. You can see it here, and we didn't bounce off this resistance level. Prices went higher. I wouldn't have taken this as a short trade to begin with. Why? Because we are in a really strong uptrend. Look at this one here. If I go back here, we went bullish right here back in December 2023, and then a very nice, beautiful uptrend. Of course, we had the tariffs here, but besides this, a very strong uptrend. So I wouldn't go against the overarching trend. So what I'm looking for typically are bounces of support when we are in a strong uptrend, because then the trade would be in the same direction as the trend. And I think this definitely reinforces the likelihood or improves the likelihood of actually seeing a bounce rather than a break of the level. But I don't have statistics. But if um, play your cards right, if you check all your boxes, meaning that you trade with the trend, you look for signs of gaps, and you look at how uh, steadily the trend goes up. Is it like whether wild or very steady? All these things, they can help you to further increase your chances. And another thing that you can do, actually, I probably should have mentioned this. You can also look at the sector information. So this here is a stock in the financial services sector, Brookfield Corporation. If I enable sector information, you see it here. I could also see, okay, right now, the XLF, the ETF that tracks financial services, yeah, is also an uptrend for 415 trading days. You can see it here. So this stock actually is kind of bound to get a boost from the sector, because the sector is very bullish too. It's a bullish sector for this individual stock, but also the sector is very bullish. And if you want to look at the sector ETF real quick, the XLF, what do we see here? Well, we can see that also this one actually is a very similar setup, also like zone break retrace a little bit to this level here. In a steady uptrend, level 4 pullback on trend radar. So yeah, I think it's an interesting one here. Multiple things are lining up, and this is how I feel confident about this one. But I don't have any hard stats about how often it will actually happen. Okay, so let's add this one here as well. All right, perfect. So I'm going to stop here with these stocks, but you see how easy it is to go through all these lists. So it's a very systematic process. And if I wouldn't talk so much, actually, it's something that you can do very quickly. And just to give you a bit of context, when we find our trade of the week, which we put in our newsletter every Monday, this does not take me more than 5 to 10 minutes to find. And this is really the top symbol, which I find most interesting of all the ones that I've set up. So I have to review a couple of them, but it doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes. And most of the time, actually, I spend annotating the screenshot manually. But finding this trade is actually quite easy. All right, so now let's go to our watch list. Let's see how many symbols do we have. I'm going to clear out this filter. We can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 symbols. Let's find the ones which look most interesting for the week ahead. Let's start with JP Morgan Chase. I like it. The only thing here I'm asking for is I want prices to come down to this level a bit further. If they do, I think it's going to be a very interesting long opportunity. So let's add this one to our notes here. I'm going to add a new trade note with today's timestamp. Click on this one here. This was, from last week. It's going to be similar today. So I'm going to add this one. Very interesting, but I want price to come down a bit further first before I engage. Brookfield Corporation. I like this one too. And by the way, both are getting this boost from the financial services, which is very bullish right now. So both are in the same sector here. In fact, fun fact, guys. This is really important. So look at what's happening here. Of our 6 picks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are in financial services. That's actually something which I just spotted because I'm looking at this watch list here, which I created because it really stands out because I can see financial services over and over. Yeah, do not over leverage yourself. So I really encourage you to pick one of these, but don't do all 5 because if that sector goes down, guess what will happen to those stocks? They will also go down in tandem. You don't want this. So diversification would dictate you will pick one of these, and perhaps if you want to take a second trade, maybe pick this energy trade here. Okay. So very important. Okay. So Brookfield Corporation, also financial services. Yeah, nice setup as well. I kind of like the JP Morgan one better because it's a bit of a cleaner technical setup. And also this bank, I think it's definitely too big to fail. So it's a massive bank, very well positioned. So I think it has, wow, it's just personal opinion, of course. It has perhaps a better likelihood of, moving to the upside. But if this one comes down, if I don't take the the JP Morgan trade, then this level here at 62 could be an interesting one as well. So I'm gonna add it nonetheless to our trade notes. So we have a memory of this, what we discussed today. All right. So once this loads here, there we go. Let's move on to the next one. Let's look at the energy one here. Alliance Resources Partners, a long bounce trade. All right. So let's have a look. I mean, I like it. I like the fact that this level definitely was very significant. The only thing that you should be aware of is that there is another former support level right here at 2462, which is not far away. And oftentimes, as I mentioned, the second one is the strongest one. And then there's another one all the way down here, which held up during this big, huge down candle. I'm not sure what happened there. But I think if things are calming down around this level, at 25, if volatility goes down, it must be quite expensive right here with all these gaps. But if things are calming down, if we get some smaller candles in there, maybe going in with calls if they are affordable with an out of the money strike price, perhaps not such a bad idea at this price level, but only if they're affordable. So probably you want to see implied volatility come down a little bit. But I do like it. I'm going to add this one to our list here. Perfect. All right, this is adding and moving on. AGO, Assured Guarantee Ltd. Okay. Wow. So unlike JP Morgan, this is not a zone break retrace setup. Um, the only thing here, I don't like these. I'm gonna skip this one as a trade. You know why? Because of this pattern here. If you if you're looking at this from a technical point of view, kind of we have this descending channel right here. I mean, if you discount this, if you actually count this one here, it would be a converging triangle. But this was kind of an exceptional situation. So if you discount this, and of course, it's kind of a bit cheating. It's a descending triangle of lower highs along the board. That's a bearish pattern. So if anything, I would wait for confirmation this level is holding. I want to see some green bars afterwards. Maybe then I would consider a long, but just keep in mind that if you do, this descending line here might be already resistance. So this long trade, if anything, may not have lags. So I'm gonna skip this one. Unum Group. Let's check this one out. I like it. Definitely on my list for next week. We are at this key support level, and we have a huge gap here to fill. I think things are looking promising. Trend radar, shows us a level 5 pullback here, which is not ideal. Ideally, I'd like to keep it at level 4. It's going down to level 5. Nonetheless, I think there's a good chance that there will be a bounce. So I'm going to add this one to our list. Nice bullish stock as well. So click on the notes here, and we're going to add a trade note with today's. Oh, this was yesterday. Sorry, I made a mistake. 1 second, add a new note here, and put the same screenshot right there. And one more, we have regional banking. And actually, one more thing, let me check one thing, what I didn't disclose to you first. Let's check the industry group. All right, so here we have actually a bit more diversification. So even though they're all in financial services, they are actually all in different subgroups. We have 2 insurance companies, one in life, one in specialty. Then we have banks diversified. That's JP Morgan, of course, it's a massive bank. Asset management with Brookfield, and regional banking up here with NECB, Northeast Community Bank Corp Inc. Let's check it out, how this one looks like. Yeah, also an interesting one. Long-term uptrend. The only thing I don't like too much about this is that it's a huge retracement from these highs here. This looks really massive. So if I were to measure this one out, let me just check here. How big is this move? Pip retracement all the way. I guess we take the slow point to here. Yeah, well, what's this level? Just see 1 second. Yeah, below the 61.8 level. Now in between 61.8 and 78.6. Yeah, deep retracement, a bit too deep for my taste. So I think I'm going to skip this one as well. But the 4 ones that we have Unrum, we had JP Morgan, we have Brookfield, and which other ones did we have? Was it Ago? It's not this one. It was Alliance Resources. This one here we had in the energy sector. Yeah. So these 4 stocks. So Unrum, Alliance Resources, JP Morgan, and Brookfield, they are definitely going to be on my watch list, on my alert list when the markets are opening on Monday. All right, guys, with this, let's go to some questions and to some individual symbols. And by the way, I have a sharp cut off today at 1 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, we can do some symbols, of course, but unfortunately, I do have to leave at 1 p.m. because of a conflicting event afterwards. All right.
Perfect. Okay, Daniel,
Yeah.
the first symbol is going to be next, NEXT.
Yeah, let's have a look.
And while you're doing that, Lenny has a question. How did you turn on that new sector info?
Oh, yeah, I'll show it to you. That's very easy. Let's do that first. So Lanny, in these settings here, top right corner, click on it. And down here you have a switch for sector information. So if that's disabled, and it's disabled by default because I don't want to clutter the dashboard. It looks like this. You don't see the sector information, but if you enable it right here, it will show up. Cool. All right, so let's go to next.
Do you prefer a stock that's going with the sector trend or against it?
Oh, yeah, no, sector boost, I think is great with the sector trend.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. First symbol next.
Next decade cooperation in energy. All right. And yeah, let's check it out. What's going on here? Oops, what's going on here? Yeah, zone break, definitely. This was very sideways here, similar to oil kind of thing. Look at the sideways channel here. We finally broke above it. after this long sideways period from 2022 on all the way until like recently, beginning of this year. And then the break above this upper range, and now it's coming back. This could be an interesting zone break retrace setup for a long. I kind of like it. But it's bullish only for maybe 150 days so far since the end of 2024. So I personally like stocks which have been bullish for longer, but definitely an interesting setup. If you come down, perhaps this level here, maybe a zone break retrace entry to the long direction could be not such a bad idea.
Thanks, Daniel. The next one's Tesla.
Yeah. It's been quiet with Tesla. I haven't heard any
Yeah.
crazy news about it lately. Let's see if this did something good to the stock. I could, of course, only imagine it would. Shareholders don't like uncertainty. Yeah, classic magnet zone setup, huh? You can see it right smack down in between support here and resistance here. But what a nice recovery it made since the lows here with when the whole Elon Musk versus Donald Trump thing happened, down to 218, now to 329 already. Wow, great. It looks bullish to me. I think there's a good chance that prices will be a bit sideways in between these two levels. But every time you're coming down, perhaps to a key level here, like 388, this could be an interesting buy in Tesla. A company I believe that long time it's well positioned to be quite influential and yeah, yeah, because it's so diversified. It's not just cars, right? It's not really a cars company. It's an AI company. It's a battery company. It's an energy company to some degree.
Thanks, Daniel. The next one's Cake, C-A-K-E. And while you're going there, Frank wanted to know, before you were looking at the financial sector stocks, you're talking about not doubling down. He says, would it just be a good choice to buy XLF instead?
Yeah, yeah, we didn't even see it. XLF just is facing just real quick here. XLF is just facing a bit of resistance right now, so there's no clean technical setup. You can see it here. It's fighting at this resistance level. So I would, or at least there's a resistance level right above it here at 52.61. There's not much room. So from a technical point of view, I wouldn't do it. But if there was a nice technical setup for XLF, yeah, I would definitely consider it. And I think we had XLF or definitely some of the sector ETFs on our trade alerts at some point,
Perfect.
if the technical setup is right. All right. So Cheesecake Factory. All right. Getting hungry. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice stock up. Bullish for 348 trading days. We broke above resistance. Oops. At this point here at the 5th of June. Nice move up now coming down. If prices come down all the way to 57, that could be a great buy. Right now we're at 61, so I would wait perhaps a bit more for prices to come down, then consider a long entry. Or even right at this level, maybe. I personally would wait a bit more. I think there's maybe a bit more room to the downside, but then yes, consider a long entry. I like it.
Thanks. The next one's a quantum computing one, IONQ,
Yeah.
Ionic.
Yes. We don't have it. IONQ.
Let me just
I thought,
double check here. I know I was looking at this symbol yesterday, so let me just make sure that's the right. It is the
yeah.
right symbol, yeah,
Okay,
IONQ.
well, we're gonna be adding it. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, interesting one too. Bullish down here, but it's very volatile, huh? Bullish here all the way up. We're still bullish. Would I buy right here? Probably not. We're just too close to this resistance level. So I knew we said this last week. So if prices are coming down a little bit, maybe to 33, potentially then this could be an interesting buy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And on that note, actually, QPUX just came out 2 days ago on Thursday, a new ETF for four of the main quantum computing stocks.
Ah, just yesterday, yeah? That's the
And
one. Ah,
that
cool.
symbol is in that
Yeah.
ETF. Yeah. And the next
Yeah.
one is LLY, Eli Lilly.
Yeah. Oh boy, what happened there? I know they lost a lot of actually let me show you on the dashboard first, but that stock something happened. I think medication was disapproved or something happened there. And this is always the risk of pharma companies because they're so volatile. If something surprising like this happens to the upside and the downside. Yeah, look at this one here. What a drop down. I believe out of the blue kind of thing. And we have dividends coming up mid-August. Can see it here. Yeah, we lost support. So this key support level and even this one, the lowest one here, we lost it with this huge drop midweek. And now we're kind of a no man's land, actually kind of bearish right now with nothing below the abyss below. All we have this intermediate, this old resistance level here. This one here. See this green line? This is where prices stopped. It went out of scope as per our indicator, but potentially it has the power to stop this huge gap down. Uh, I would not buy right now. Too risky. This may as well fall much further down. If we do see signs of recovery, well, maybe we're going to bounce up this level and then we could close this gap. But I would wait first for some bullish info bars rolling in here before I enter.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And now the next one's from Niels. Can we check out Berkshire Hathaway? He
Yeah.
says it has a bounce set up. Can you say something about it?
Yeah. I don't know if you were in the webinar with CapTrader right before Niels, where we also discussed Berkshire. I personally would not trade it. I think ever since Warren Buffett left the company, and of course, this is once again fundamental news where try to stay away from. But I think investors are having uncertainty. Uncertainty is not good for stock prices. And I have a bad feeling about this one. Also, we went bearish here as per Amy Rush a couple of days ago. I personally would not go long here. I think potentially there will be a bigger drop coming after this uncertainty because it is somewhat of a bullish stock, but not yeah, nothing for me. So I think because of that news and there will be some uncertainty and we will see some deeper level in Berkshire. Is this even the right one? Berkshire Hills Corp. No, I'm looking at the wrong company. Oops. That's funny. I was wondering what these prices don't make any sense. Sorry for this. Where is it? This one here. Okay. But you know what? Because I had the exact same question. That's why I was talking so confidently about this. I had it like 2 hours ago. Yeah. Okay. So Amy Rush did not change. And this is actually a long time bullish stock. I just don't like the fact that it's just going in one direction for quite some time now, just downwards. And that I think might continue. And I think it might be related to the fact that Warren Buffett is leaving this company or has left already. And
And
there's uncertainty there.
if Berkshire doesn't get above 490 within about a week and a bit, MA Rush is going to go bearish.
Yeah. Yeah. So personally, it's not my cup of tea, even though it's a very nice uptrend. Don't get me wrong. But there's some fundamental information that rolled in, which made me not want to buy this stock right now.
Thanks,
But
Daniel.
that's
Okay.
once again my personal opinion. I might be completely wrong. Yeah,
The next one's Cocoa Futures, a bounce set up there too.
yeah, yeah. Cool. There we go. Yeah, Cocoa Futures. That's it is a bounce setup, indeed. Long-term bounce at these levels, and they are bullish since 2022. I mean, when I trade futures only for day trading purposes, and then this is not so relevant here. But yeah, I agree. We're definitely at a key support level, and we may see a bounce off this level towards the middle, in between support and resistance, for sure.
There too, look how close the rush lines are. That's going to go bearish if it doesn't get
Yeah,
above those within maybe a few days. And the next one's FMCC.
yeah. FMCC. Oops. FMCC.
Yeah.
Let's look at trading view here. Freddie Mac. Oh, we don't have this one. I went over the counter too. Oh, is that the bank that
It's
it's probably not the
they
same.
turned
They
it
went
public. Yeah,
bankrupt.
it's the mortgages,
Oh, okay.
the
Oh,
federal
okay.
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mae, Mac.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely bullish as we can see it here, bullish since 2024, but facing key resistance here. So nothing I would trade long right now, just to close the resistance. In fact, it says short bounce here for liquidity IQ because prices are right next to this resistance level. So I would stay away. If you come down a bit further, maybe then it could be an interesting buy, but right here, not a level I'd be interested in buying.
This is actually the first, maybe it was Fannie Mae, the first symbol I ever traded back in like 2012 when it first came public on the OTC, like the first day, in the
First
first
day.
hour. Yeah, it
I
was
hope
crazy.
I hope you still have it. When was that?
No. Yeah, it was back 12 years ago. The next one
Okay.
is AI from BAPA.
AI, just like this, as a symbol. Here, this one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so what do we have here? Earnings coming up. So excited about this indicator and to roll this one out. I think it just gives you a lot more context. You just see it directly on the chart. So Monday, you can see it. Yeah, bearish. We're right at the support one here. I mean, I have more of a bearish outlook here. It looks like almost we're going to lose this support level here, and then the next stop will be down here at 18 or perhaps down here at 17. Yeah, it feels bearish to me.
Thanks, Daniel. Okay, then now the last one is UNH, United Healthcare.
Yeah, let's have a
And
look.
Lenny wants to know, does it mean anything that the color scheme in TradingView is so different than the dashboard. No, it's just our color scheme, um,
Yeah.
color theme
It
options on TradingView.
yeah, that's just a visual preference. Yeah, add support here. I mean, we are bearish and we may lose this level, so I, I would not go long. It's just not my kind of setup that I'm looking for because we are bearish here. Even though we're at support level, I would not anticipate a bounce off this level towards higher levels. If I had to bet, I would say that we're gonna lose this level to the downside for another breakdown. If you break down, maybe then this could be an interesting one for puts, maybe. Buy some puts, maybe even out of the money for another leg further down. That would be my take here.
Thank you, Daniel. That's all the questions, every symbol wrapped up.
Great, awesome, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry I rushed a little bit through these symbols today. I do have a commitment right now, actually, at 1 p.m. Just want to show you real quick two last things. So, first off, if you don't have our cool dashboard yet, check it out at tradingindicators.com/view. This link is in the chat. And we do offer this 1 week free trial, which allows you to check it out. And as you can see, we are adding new features to it almost every week. So, and most of these features are actually driven by you. So if you come on board, you can have your voice heard. So tradingindicators.com/view. Also, if we missed out on a question, you can always reach us at tradingindicators.com. Go to this is our homepage. So go to the main menu, click on support, on contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will go straight to my inbox, and I will answer every single question personally. With this, guys, I wish you a great weekend. I hope the weather at your place is as nice as it is here in Germany right now, in northern Germany. You can see my skin is so red. Oh my God, I should have taken some sun cream. I'm boiling inside, but it's all good. So I'm happy to be here. I'll be here for another more than a week. So next weekend, once again, greeting you from Germany for the next scanning session. And we also have our lunch and learn on Tuesday. So please don't forget about that. With this, guys, enjoy your weekend, trade safe, and we talk soon. Bye bye.